looking at this dumpster fire called the Red Sox.
Nobody saw this problem coming ever.
I will admit.
Wow.
I will admit I was a little overconfident after opening day. But it's just
they had
the
a chance.
Pitching is terrible. You're gonna win every 5 days because you'll have a Valdi or someone else that can get 5 innings go. You're gonna win 2 out of 4 games every time, and then it's just gonna be miserable. It's gonna be a miserable season, folks. It's like yesterday they lost against the Yankees.
Yep.
10-7, I think.
Yeah.
On Sunday they lost 10-7. You scored 7 runs and lost. Your pitching gives up 10 runs.
I wonder what their average is going to be at the end of the season. Their average is going to be insane.
Like
in terms of runs given up.
And I looked yesterday.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you. Those Orioles that we made fun of, they're in second place. If the playoffs ended today, they would be in the playoffs. The season ended today, they would be in the playoffs. Let's hold on. I want to look up Red Sox.
It goes to show when seasons change like this, a lot of the numbers go out the window. You don't always know how this is going to go.
I think we all knew how it was going to go.
Well, no, talk about with the Orioles thing. I was talking with that.
Orioles, yeah.
With that, you don't always know where the teams are going to stack up in a situation like this where this has never happened with a baseball season.
All right.
But when it comes to the Red Sox, we were talking about this, what is this, 7 months ago, 8 months ago now?
Yeah. Let's look at the ERAs here, shall we?
Yeah.
Perez has a 5.06. Yeah. Golly has a 6.14. Ryan Weber has an 11.57.
Oh,
this guy Bryce, who I think did my taxes last week, has a 6.35.
Oh, no.
Matt Hall, something Hall? I don't even know who he is. He's a relief pitcher. Has a 15.43. Matt Barnes, who was supposed to be the guy that was we were looking forward to. The one guy has a 9 ERA.
Jesus.
Covey has a 9 ERA. Brazier has a 13.50, and whoever this guy Springs is, Jeffrey Springs, has a 33.75.
Why is he there?
So, we have a guy, Brian Johnson, that's down in minor league that they don't want to add, who could easily be a starter that maybe isn't going to have the best dazzle you, but he's at least not going to have a 30.
Better than those.
Oh, yeah. I was I thought
oh, no, sorry, my bad.
Computer.
No, better than those guys.
I was so
guys.
confused.
Jesus.
I was
sorry, my bad.
What's going on?
What, are they grabbing guys from, where are they finding some of these guys?
I don't know, man.
Where are they finding them? That's one of the worst ERAs I've ever heard of.
Off the street? I don't know. It's and I mean, it's a broken record, and you're going to hear us say it until the end of the season, until next season, until they sign some actual starting pitching. Now your prayers up for Erod, who is dealing with heart complications due to the coronavirus. I hope a speedy recovery to him.
That's rough.
But he was supposed to be your ace of the future. He was supposed to be your guy that you were going to anchor on for the next 5 years. But he's done.
But not for nothing, even though they're relying on one dude. Even that's still...
They weren't totally relying on one dude. I'm saying, you add Erod into there.
Yeah.
Chris Sale will be back, hopefully healthy next year.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's true.
Erod was going to be the young guy that they were going to lean on. Chris Sale's up there in age and also has elbow problems. You need to go out and get a starting pitcher next year.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm Bloom, I'm looking out for getting pitching, nothing but pitching, and... That's it. Bullpen arms and starters.
Oh, yeah.
You have the tools in the field. I fully believe that you have the bats. I don't think that's the problem. You need to go out and get some starting pitching and young starting pitching to get you through, or established guys to get you through the next few years to make a playoff run.
Oh, yeah.
And number one thing they need to do is get rid of this moron that's calling the shots, Rob Renicky. He is he's the worst manager. He may be the worst manager I've ever seen. He is the worst. He's and I get it. He was supposed to retire, I heard, this year. And he came back because we didn't have a manager. But he is god awful. He is the decision making. I make better decisions in MLB The Show on PlayStation. I think he's the worst.
Not a fair comparison, but probably true.
It's the worst decision-making I've ever seen. Just handing days off like he's Oprah to these guys. Like everyone gets a day off every couple days. Like does someone need to let him know that it's a 60-game season? We have less games to make it.
Maybe he's just not hungry anymore for the game. He's not hungry for
the Red Sox aren't hungry.
Anything.
Period. And it was evident when they didn't have when they have guys like Spring pitching for your team.
Yeah.
Like it's evident. They don't care about the season. They're punting. And it's like we said last week, how when you're in Boston, you don't have the luxury of punting on a season and putting an uncompetitive product on the field. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And that's why everyone's angry. That's why it has I wouldn't say it's as bad as 2012 with Bobby Valentine, because Bobby Valentine's team was that was probably the most irritated I've ever been watching the Red Sox. But it's pretty close.
But to argue though, it's inevitable with every team. It's inevitable you're gonna have a bad year or an off year. And not for nothing, with all the crap that's happened over the last few months, not that that's the reason why they're doing bad right now. But, like, at this point, I just call the year a wash and just be like, look, it is what it is this year. But, James,
when you're, like, and I don't want to go into it again, when you're a Boston team,
I know, it's a higher standard.
You can't do that.
The bar is much higher.
I don't care. Like, I understand, like, there's been a lot that's happened this year. But you traded away Mookie Betts and David Price, who, say what you want about David Price, in a 60-game season, I think he would thrive. I would think he would thrive. I haven't really been paying attention much to him this season, but he always had a hot start, and then he would cool off. So 60 games, you're getting 6 starts in 60 games if you're a starting pitcher. He may be, and especially when you're bullpen, you're trotting out Ryan Weber as one of your starters. That's not a bad. I would feel more comfortable if David Price was in the thing. You didn't get a pitcher.
Nope.
You didn't get a starting pitcher.
Nope.
And you knew Chris Sale was going to be out. You didn't know about Erod, but you knew Nathan Eovaldi was kind of shaky. So at the time, you had 2 starters. And you didn't get one? You didn't get anything? You got Verdugo, who I like, but you got another outfielder. Like, that's insane. That's insane to me that they didn't get a starting pitcher for that in that trade.
Well, it goes to show they didn't really understand their own priorities. They didn't really sit down and say, look, where are we strong, where are we weak, where we need to work on.
It just doesn't make sense.
No.
It's absolutely, and that's what I'm talking about, where people have a problem, is that everyone said going into the season, pitching's going to be a problem. Yeah, we know. Pitching's going to be a problem. Yeah, we know. You did nothing about it.
Yeah.
Nothing. You signed a bunch of no-name guys that had like 6, 7 higher ERAs last year in the past years, or coming off injuries. And I get one of Bloom's, like, I think skill set as a GM is he finds guys that are like diamonds in the rough. He finds guys that, I don't want to compare him to Bill Belichick because he's not even on the same planet. But Bill has that same ability to find these undrafted guys and put them in positions and build them up. Bloom has maybe not build them up, but it has that ability to find guys that are like, cheap money that actually can maybe develop into like something great.
People with potential.
Right. Which I give him credit because we've seen that in the past. But we got to start spending some money. We have some cap room next year. We need to go out and get a starting pitcher. We need to go get pitching. That's it. Hands down. That's it.
It's obvious.
But who knows what they'll do. I have a feeling they're going to do a lot of Renick's going to be out, obviously, but they need to find a manager that is hungry and wants to win. Hopefully Alex Cora, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. They need to go. They need to retool that whole bullpen. And beside re-signing a few guys, I would not sign one offensive player. I would focus all my offseason on pitching. That's all I would do if I was the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That's all I would do. Like, that's all you can do. You're putting, like, it's like going through the names. It's like, it's absolutely insane that and don't forget, Chris Sale's in the first year of his deal, his 5-year, like, something crazy amount of money deal.
That was...
Nathan Eovaldi's in year 1 or 2 of his 4-year crazy deal.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of money tied up in these guys, and it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. I'd also move, and I mean, we've talked about this before. I think Pedroia is due his money, but I'd move his contract off the books because I don't think he's playing you need to have a conversation with Pedroia, because if you could move his contract on to like a coaching staff contract and pay him what he's due, but make him a coach or make him like a developmental guy with these young guys. That way it gets your money off the salary cap and you're still paying him his money, but it's off the books kind of. Yeah. I think that's more effective, so you can create a little extra room. But they need to go get some starting pitching and some bullpen arms.
Agreed.
All right, I think that's enough baseball talk. And again, so frustrating just thinking about the Red Sox.